Today we are working Psalm 16. In Psalm Magic, we frequently use Psalm 16 for deliverance from the manifestation of evil, to discover a thief, for healing pain, to change sorrow to joy, and for happiness in the home. And it is also the first of the collection of psalms called the Golden Psalms, which in Psalm Magic we use as a type of alchemy. And I think that's a great way to use this psalm today. So if there's something that you don't like, something that's kind of a base metal in your life that you'd like to see transformed, this is a great way to work it. Sometimes it's better to think in terms of transforming something rather than simply banishing it. So maybe bring something to mind that you'd like to see changed, transformed, cleaned up, etc. The way we work Psalm Magic is simple, easy, and effective. We take our psalm and we speak it out loud all the way through once without stopping. This is called an incantation. Then we go back through that same psalm and we consider each verse one at a time. We dig for those meanings. They're hidden, and that's why they're called occult meanings. Occult means hidden. And we search for those, and when we find them, we try to apply whatever we find to the situation that we brought to the psalm. And it's that activity, that seeking, finding, and applying, that is taking those magic seeds and planting them in the depths of our mind, where they take root. They grow, they blossom forth, and they bear fruit after their kind. And that is precisely what you and I are going to do together today with Psalm number 16. Preserve me, O God, for in thee do I put my trust. O my soul, thou hast said unto the Lord, Thou art my Lord. My goodness extendeth not to thee, but to the saints that are in the earth, and to the excellent, in whom is all my delight. Their sorrows shall be multiplied that hasten after another god. Their drink offerings of blood will I not offer, nor take up their names unto my lips. The Lord is the portion of mine inheritance and of my cup. Thou maintainest my lot. The lines are fallen unto me in pleasant places. Yea, I have a goodly heritage. I will bless the Lord who hath given me counsel. My reins also instruct me in the night seasons. I have set the Lord always before me. Because he is at my right hand, I shall not be moved. Therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoiceth. My flesh also shall rest in hope. For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thine Holy One to see corruption. Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. The opening, preserve me, O God, for in thee do I put my trust. There's something that you don't want feels like a threat to you, and we are asking to be preserved or protected. So preserve me, O God, for in thee do I put my trust. It's giving us instruction that when you put your trust in the infinite, nothing can come up against you. One with the force is always a majority. And whatever this force is for, nothing can be against. And this force is for you because you are an extension of the force. So, preserve me, O God, for in thee do I put my trust. O my soul, thou hast said unto the Lord, Thou art my Lord. My goodness extendeth not to thee, but to the saints that are in the earth, and to the excellent, in whom all is my delight. In the Psalms, the word soul isn't really the same concept that it is for us. The word soul is similar to the word heart, and it means the deep mind, the habitual mind, the subconscious mind. Thou art my Lord, my goodness extendeth not to thee. When we hear something like this in a psalm, we have to correct the psalmist in our mind, because that's the problem. When we think of the Lord as being far apart, we forget that we're an extension of the infinite. The infinite is one with us. There's no separation. And it's the idea of separation that needs to be healed. And when we heal this idea of separation, this kind of alchemy that we're looking for is a natural occurrence. It's not miraculous at all. It's just a normal thing. Similar to when you wake up from a dream, it's a normal thing for the illusions of that nightmare to disappear and become nothing more than a memory. The saints of the earth represents the manifestations in our life. So if you can think of this base metal, whatever that is, this lead situation, let's say it's a financial problem that you want to transform or something like that, there are saints within that. In other words, it needs to be activated. Alchemy is all about activating what's already there, not putting something in there that doesn't exist yet. And if you read any of the old text on alchemy, that's what they were constantly trying to do, is refine. They were trying to distill to get the essence, the true essence out of something. And that's how we get that transformation. Similar to how Michelangelo would take a piece of marble and say, I just have to chip away everything that doesn't look like the angel that I'm sculpting. The angel's already in the marble. I just have to chip away everything that's not like the marble. Their sorrows shall be multiplied that hasten after another god. Their drink offerings of blood will I not offer, nor take up their names into my lips. The idea of idolatry is making something that isn't God our God. So whatever the problem is, you're making it into an idol if you think it's more powerful than God. So if it is a financial problem, oh, money's more powerful than God, or this bill is more powerful than God, or this fight that you had with your significant other is more powerful than God. And to the degree that we think the problem that needs to be transformed is more powerful than the infinite, is to the degree to which we are stuck in that problem. If you think of it from that point of view, just in terms of whatever you're trying to transform, their sorrows shall be multiplied that hasten after another god. So you're going to have your sorrows multiplied to the degree that you think that this thing is more powerful than the infinite. Their drink offerings of blood will I not offer, nor take up their names into my lips. They're talking about the payoffs that we get and why we continue to worship our problems. There's always some sort of a payoff. Let's go back to the financial thing. There's a possibility that you have some sort of a neurotic payoff about not having enough money. Maybe you get an excuse to not go places that you don't want to go because you, quote, can't afford it. Or maybe that's a way that you get people to feel sorry for you, or that's a way that you maybe get people to give you money or give you things because to you that's the only way that they can show their love. Whatever it is, that's a drink offering of blood. And you're not going to go for that. Nor take up their names into my lips. I'm not even going to speak of the problem as a problem anymore. I'm going to see the truth of this thing. I'm going to see it as I want it to be. I'm going to speak of it as what I want it to be. No longer am I going to discuss it as the base metal. I'm speaking of it as the gold that I'm changing it into, or that it's being transformed into. The Lord is the portion of mine inheritance, and of my cup thou maintainest my lot. It's your heritage. You're not asking for a favor. It's so important that we get this, because if we always think, oh, maybe God will be nice to me if I'm really sweet and then I'll get a favor. You don't need to appease an external deity to get what you want. It's very clear. It's your inheritance. It's your right. But nobody can force you to claim your inheritance. Nobody can force that on you, not even the infinite. So it's just there waiting for us. So we have to claim it. And we claim it boldly, and we claim it enthusiastically and lovingly and with much gratitude. Yay, I'm so grateful for this gold that is showing itself out of this lead. The lines are fallen unto me in pleasant places. Yea, I have a goodly heritage. Thinking about how good our heritage is, how good our inheritance is. What do I get to have? The inheritance that we have, it says here, pleasant places. That's what the infinite wants for us, is pleasant places. The infinite does not will for us to be broke or in pain or sick or fighting or any of those problems. That's not the infinite's will. So we want the infinite's will. So we want to ask ourselves, what does the infinite want for me here? What is it like in that reality? And sit with that and think of that. Feel those pleasant places. And recognize that you do have a goodly heritage. And that's where the infinite wants you to live all the time. I will bless the Lord who hath given me counsel. My reins also instruct me in the night seasons. Where do you want me to go? If you ask the infinite, where do you want me to go? What do you want me to do? The will for the infinite is for you to be in pleasant places. So if you're asking the infinite, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? It's in order for the infinite to guide you into those pleasant places, to guide you into this alchemy, guide you into this transformation, which is the infinite's will. And so those reins in the night seasons, meaning when you have to fly on instruments, back in the old days before they had a lot of autopilot and stuff like that, they still had instruments. And the pilots of these airplanes, when they were in clouds, they couldn't see where they were going. They didn't know where the mountains were. They didn't know anything. So they had to rely on their instruments. And we can rely on our instruments here because we've got those so-called reins. The infinite's going to say this way, that way, this way, and guide us through whatever we are going through to get to those pleasant places that are the will of the infinite for us. So being guided and being led in the moment, doing what's in front of us to do, one step at a time, knowing full well that the infinite is guiding us into this golden outcome that we desire. I have set the Lord always before me, because he has at my right hand, I shall not be moved. So the right hand is the hand of the sword. It's also the hand that you eat with, because in the old cultures, they didn't recognize that some people were left-handed and some people were right-handed. They thought everybody should be right-handed, and they taught everybody to be right-handed up until very recently, actually. So the right hand just means the hand of utility, the hand that does everything that needs to be done. We're having the infinite do it for us. I always have set the Lord before me. Now that's a smart thing to do. You don't want to go in front and say, come, Lord, come this way. This is where we're going. This is what we're doing. We want it the other way. We want to step back and let the infinite lead the way, so that all we have to do is go where we have to go, because the infinite's at our right hand, meaning doing it for us. A lot of people have a problem with the idea of the infinite doing it for them. They think, well, that's not right. I should do everything myself. Otherwise, I'm being irresponsible. Actually, that's the opposite. You are doing everything, but you're doing it from a different part of your mind. You're doing it from your higher self, which has a vantage point of seeing things that your ego mind can't see. So it's as if you don't know where you're going. It's as if you don't know what you're doing, because it doesn't look like anything you're used to from the ego perspective. And that's a good thing. That's how you're going to be led into this wonderful golden outcome that you're asking for, because that's the infinite's will for you. The infinite's saying, it's over here. Come on, here we go. Since you asked me to lead you, let me lead you. Here we go. We're going to get all that gold that you've been asking for. Therefore, my heart is glad and my glory rejoiceth. My flesh also shall rest in hope. This is talking about raising one's vibrations. Because of the law of vibration, the infinite is capable of manifesting for us what we want to the degree that we are vibrating to that. That's just a law. So in order for that gold to appear for you, and you need to vibrate at its rate. And that's what your glory is. Your glory are your vibrations. It's your aura. Therefore, my heart is glad. Remember, that's your deep mind. That's your habitual thinking. You're habitually glad. That's raising your vibrations. And my glory rejoiceth. In order to raise the vibrations of your aura, joy, rejoicing, being happy, being grateful, finding the good in every moment. That is how you raise your vibrations, so that you can reveal this gold, which is right there. Remember, that's the saints of the earth. It's already in there. You just have to see it. You have to find it. For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thine Holy One to see corruption. In the Lord's Prayer, lead us out of temptation, deliver us from evil. It means that the Infinite knows how to get you out of any problem. No matter how lead-like your situation is that you want to transform, no matter how base it is, the Infinite knows exactly how to get you out of it. But your willingness has to be there, because the Infinite's will for you is not for you to be in your hell. And remember, all hell is self-inflicted. There is no such thing as an objective hell. Now, Sheol in the Psalms can also mean native nothingness. That's where everything that isn't real goes. Everything that doesn't really exist, that's where it goes. It goes to nothing, because there is nothing that's not perfection. So as you are led out of whatever your problem is, as this thing is transformed, the dross goes to hell, if you will. The dross goes back to the native nothingness from whence it came. But you can't be in hell other than in your mind. In your mind, hell is what the ego makes of your present moment. So if your mind is focused on the Infinite in the present moment and not on your ego, you are immediately led out of that self-inflicted hell and into the so-called promised land, which is the answering of your prayer or the outcome of this spell that you're looking for. It is the gold being revealed from the lead. Neither will thou suffer thine Holy One to see corruption. From this point of view, the reason why you can't see corruption if the Infinite is leading you is because corruption isn't real for you. It's not the Infinite's will for you to have corruption, either in yourself, in your relationships, in your life, in your possessions, whatever it is. The only thing that the Infinite wants for you is happiness, prosperity, joy, all of the things that are the qualities of the Infinite. Life, harmony, all of those beautiful qualities, because that's who you are at your core. You are an extension of the Infinite. So all of the qualities of the Infinite are the qualities of your soul. You're the same stuff. You're the same fabric. There's nothing that's different in quality between you and the Infinite. And anything that's not those qualities is that illusion, or is that dross that has to be discarded, like that marble that gets chipped away from when Michelangelo was sculpting those angels. And so we want the Infinite to sculpt us, to get rid of everything that's not authentically us. Thou wilt show me the path of life. You will show me the path of life. Life is eternal. And life is not just that your heart gets to beat one more beat. It's also who you are before you came into this body, who you are after you leave this body, and while you're in this body, life also includes everything that's going to make you happy. So let the Infinite show you that path of life, because that's where all of your dreams come true. In thy presence is fullness of joy. People are afraid of fullness because they're used to the ego-oriented experience of this world. We don't want to get things too good because then there's going to be a fall. We don't want to have too much joy because then we're going to have to pay for that with sorrow. And the Infinite's perspective is, no, we don't have that in heaven. That doesn't exist. Fullness is a constant, just like ecstasy is a constant. Joy is a constant. So when we say, in thy presence is the fullness of joy, we're talking about the presence of the Infinite that you always have access to. There is no time or space anywhere where you don't have access to the presence of the Infinite, but your mind has to tune into it and has to be willing to not tune into the things that are outside of the scope of the Infinite. So you have to take time every day to focus your mind on that presence. And when you do, that presence automatically takes you into where you need to be in order to have fullness of joy. At thy right hand, there are pleasures forevermore. Now, when we're talking about the right hand of the Infinite, again, it's the utility hand. If you let the Infinite do it for you, it's not cheating. It's that you get to have everything that you want. It's just that we've been really poorly taught in this world. If we want to have what we want, let the infinite give it to us and show us the way and do it for us. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. Forevermore in the Psalms is the same concept as ever after in a fairy tale. When they all lived happily ever after, it's speaking to us esoterically of the present moment. That's where eternity lies. You have eternal pleasures through the right hand of the infinite. So if in this moment you let the infinite do it for you and you let go of your need to control any situation, you have pleasures forevermore. And the pleasures forevermore are also the manifestation of whatever this is. Whatever this is that you brought to the psalm. Not only is it going to be something that you want, it's going to give you pleasures forevermore. Meaning right here, right now, no waiting. There's no fine print. It's just your inheritance. It's your birthright. It's really challenging for us to think about things as being our birthright because that's not how we're raised. We're not raised thinking, I have the birthright of having the entire kingdom of heaven. It is my birthright to be eternally happy, to be eternally prosperous, to be eternally free, have gorgeous, harmonious relationships, always be happy, and never be on the treadmill, never be on that wheel of death and birth and death and birth. We're never taught that. At best, we're taught that someday in the future, in another world, if we live our life here in a certain way, maybe we'll have eternal life. But that's not what this is talking about. This is talking about in this life, on this earth, right now, in this body. You don't have to worry about later. Right now, it's your inheritance to have happiness, have joy, have prosperity, whatever it is that you brought to the psalm. It's your right. So you get to claim it. So you just keep coming back to the psalm each and every day. When you get that sense of peace and certainty that all is well and everything's working out, even if you can't see any indicators of that yet, when you get that sense, it's a communication from your deep mind. You've done it. The spell is cast. You don't need to do this anymore. Move on to something else. And then it's best just to forget about it and let it run its course. It will manifest usually when you least expect it. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Until next time, blessed be.